Hi, everybody, and welcome to a very, very, very special episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's counting up to 50 with me?
Michael 50K Hughes.
And Bill 50K Magic Tucker. Okay. 50K, it's a Bruno Mars reference. 24K Magic, 50K Magic.
Oh, I should have known that. I listen to Bruno Mars.
Yeah. There you
but
go.
lately, the only thing I've listened to is Taylor Swift nonstop, so he didn't fall in that category. Once I found out what Spotify was, I just found Taylor Swift and listened to nothing but Taylor Swift.
Nice.
My wife did not appreciate that. We're in the car. She's like, can we just have something else? I'm like, no, just Taylor. there is no radio, only Taylor. I don't know why that's happened. All right, but if you're listening to this episode, we do something we haven't done in a long time. We are first time we're doing it, but also a long time. We're doing a celebrationary episode and an Ask Me Anything type of thing. So I have a bunch of questions. But what we are celebrating is that we finally, Games My Mom Found has hit at the time that you're hearing this, 50,000 downloads over the 2 years, a little over 2 years and a month that we've been doing this. 780 days, how long it took us to hit that number, and 181 episodes.
Wow.
Nice. So, I mean, some of the episodes aren't even real episodes. A couple of those are like 2.0 where I just updated what's going on, but still, it's people listen.
Yeah.
That's it. Evidently, the 50,000 times someone listened. Not one person, obviously. But yeah, 50,000 listen. That's a big achievement, guys. Really, congratulations. This is not a lot of shows get to this point. They peter out. They just kind of lose steam because it's hard to do this week after week, as you know. And
as other people I've worked with too, because I've been following the show for a long time. Like it started off with a couple different guys, and then one guy fell off episode 15, who's on the first Origin special. And we hit 1,000, and then the other guys made it to episode 67 and 68. I think, or was it when they fell off, and then Mike joined in July of 2020. But you two had already been around doing the MCU with me since March of 2020.
Yeah, and thanks for having me on this. I come on for the MCU stuff, and I just talk shit about Hawkeye and then leave. That's kind of what I do. So thanks for having me, guys. This is just super cool. Looking forward to it.
I feel like the MCU has been a big part of the show since we started doing it, so it only seemed right.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, we've done a bunch of them. So,
oh man, have we?
Hey, like 5 more left to go at the time of this recording to record.
Wow.
And I have 6 in the can. I need to start releasing, but hey,
what are you gonna do?
My brother's getting impatient for Civil War. So.
Yeah, it has been.
God, Civil War is the next one, man. Yeah. That seems like ages ago. That's so funny.
Yeah, Civil War comes out depending on when I release this week or the week before. One or the other, depending on how my editing skills go. Nice. But yeah, Civil War's coming. So, but that's not why we're here. So I wanted to do something special since we hit this milestone. I wanted to do kind of like an Ask Me Anything episode. So I tried asking a bunch of different groups for questions. I also had to kind of reword my question because one guy got really asshole to me, which I might go in more later. But so we're going to start off with the group that's kind of supported me from the beginning, sort of. I think they're getting tired of me, but they still support me. I watched the entire Old Blood Super Replay group, which is the unofficial Game Informer Facebook group.
Yeah, good bunch of good people over there.
That's how we formed this podcast, which is not the way you should form a podcast by just putting an ad in a Facebook group. But hey,
I remember that ad. I think I was one of the ones who just put and you're like, I remember it was my first episode was Friday the 13th.
Yep.
I think. Yeah. And I remember you just putting an ad out on that Facebook group saying, hey, if anyone wants to do a show, come on over, which is really cool and open. And I was like, sure. And then I think you said something like, okay, you could be on season 2. I'm like, geez, you already have season 1 filled out? Like, man.
That was for the guest thing when I grabbed you.
I did that same thing. And he's like, you ever played Operation Raccoon City? And history was made.
That's it.
That was a fun episode, but that was a bad recording. I remember I wasn't even home. I was at a hotel, and I remember I was running late because I remember I was running late, but I was running late. And we're trying to record. Yeah. And I didn't know Mike's schedule at the time, so we had just met. It was funny.
Good stuff.
All right, so that's how this show started. But you can hear all that. We'll probably be talking about it throughout this episode. But the first question I want to read that I got, because I have some questions. I have some pop culture questions, some retro game questions, and some just people say retro games, it was changing how I was asking in certain groups. But the first thing from Justin Griffiths. Which X-Men would you like to go on a first date with? What would you do? Would their powers intimidate you? Or do you think there would be a second date?
Wow, that's not what I expected from this episode.
Wait,
it's the first one I got, and it's just funny as hell.
I really like that question. That's excellent. And I remember reading that, and I thought, ooh, I should prepare an answer. I did not prepare an answer for that, so I gotta think. Do you have something, Mike?
I can go with Shadowcat because she's awesome. As far as what we would do, I have no idea. But her powers are super cool, so that would not be intimidating. That would be fun.
She can phase through walls.
That's so cool. Yeah, I got nothing. I don't think it'll be second date because I'm married, but you know.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think we're all married, so yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we are.
I'm sure I could talk my wife into letting me go on a first date with Shadowcat, though.
Yeah, probably. And I would say Psylocke. I just really like Psylocke for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. But, so, I got nothing what we would do in a date. Or would her powers intimidate me? Probably, because she can make blades out of energy, but that's still cool. That's all I got.
And I think I'll go a different route. I'll say I don't know anything about the X-Men, so the most I know about the X-Men are like in the arcade cabinet. That's about it. So I'm gonna say is Gambit an X-Men person?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, I want to go on a date with Gambit because I just want to know why he exists. Like, why are you here? Like, you throw cards. Is there anything else you do? And how did you sneak your way onto the team? That's basically just the interest. And there'd be no second date because, nothing would happen. So
I can't talk in a Cajun accent or I would have made a joke. But I was like, I don't think it will work. I was thinking in my head, like, how can I talk Cajun? No, I can't do it. Because Gambit's awesome.
Yeah, he exists because he was cool in the 90s, so that he blew up.
Okay, I mean, I just remember him, this little dude jumping around throwing playing cards. So, sure. Maybe
they explode.
Do they?
Yeah, his power is kinetic energy. He can, whatever he touches, he can like confuse it with energy to blow up.
Well, I was going to take him to a casino, and I guess I'm not doing that now. That the pit boss won't be very happy when he starts flinging his playing cards around and blowing up the joint.
Because he can.
That scene in X-Men Origins Wolverine when he does that exact thing.
Really?
I like that.
Except they don't explode in that movie.
That movie's not a bad movie.
It's not. It's not a great X-Men movie, but it's not a bad movie.
Never seen it. Never seen it.
Well, we might change that someday.
God.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Another one I want to read from Connor Campbell. What game series would you revive if you could, and how many people would you hire to make the game? I can answer the first part, but I don't really. The game series I would revive, Chrono, because why not?
Well, yeah,
of course.
I want my third. I want my Chrono break. Damn it.
Right.
Cool.
How about you, Mike?
Castlevania, because it doesn't exist anymore, and I want more Metroidvanias. They can put them all on the DS for all I care.
Yeah, I'm into the now dead DS.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how many people it takes to make games, so I got no answer for that.
Yeah, that's fine. I got nothing.
I think I would revitalize Star Fox. I need Star Fox. I'd get a trim team, about 15 people. And when you make Star Fox, I'm going to be the creative director, by the way. So just so you guys know, I won't do any of this without input.
At least there'll be no kissing of random characters that don't belong in that movie.
Yeah. You know what? How about no characters at all? How about no lore? No lore. I don't care how Fox McCloud got his headset because it was his dad's that was handed down to him in a box that his mom gave after his father died in the Lilac system at the hands of. I don't care. No lore. I don't care how Slippy Toad snuck his way onto the team because he flunked out of flight school and then he somehow got on because he was childhood friend. No lore, no extra vehicles, no tanks, no submarines, no hovercraft, nothing. Just give me a plane that's fully customizable with 80,000 things, and let me shoot robotic bugs. That's it. Just do that, and you have a Star Fox game. I just despise Nintendo. Doesn't do lore well. Let's just all get that out of the way. It doesn't. They don't know how to do that. They know how to make games play well. But that's my answer. Star Fox with a trim team of like 15 people.
People say that Star Fox storyline and Starlink is pretty good.
Well, hey, I don't know anything about that. I just, again,
I do want to play that.
I don't care about the adventures of a bunch of furries running around. It's fine. Just
with
again,
metal legs because they have all their legs chopped off to fit in the R-wings or whatever.
We're allowed to have magic and mystery in games. That's fine. I don't need to know how Samus Aran got her the mole on her face.
There's a whole game for you for that.
Yes, so that's all other M. They'll tell you everything you want to know about Samus.
No one cares. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Just a little bit of mystery is fine.
Oh, and the last Star Fox game that came out was Star Fox 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's like that was the one that kind of like the one I was on the the Legacy
SNES
collection.
Mini.
But,
Yeah, it was
the
on the
mini. That's it. Yeah.
I really want to play it one day for the show, but I think it'd have to be Star Fox 1 and 2 for like a Mega Mini because there's just not enough content. But something.
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
Somebody once asked me, when are you going to do Star Fox? And I said, I don't know. And that still hasn't happened yet. It was supposed to, but then things fell through and I didn't do it. All right. From Dakota Elfreen, what is your least favorite game you played for the podcast? Mike, why don't you go first?
Oh, God.
We all know this
I
one.
knew I should have pulled up an episode list. I assume Bill's referring to Robotech Battlecry. That was real bad.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, probably that, because that was the only one I actually like rage quit.
Yeah.
Other ones I hated, but I made it through, except Blood Omen, because I was indisposed.
You missed nothing.
Yeah, I kind of gathered that. Yeah, probably Robotech. That game is just so unbalanced. It's not fun at all.
For me, I mean, thinking at the top of my head, because we've recorded so many over the years. Probably one of the games I think I hated the most was when I did Penumbra Overture. Because fuck that game. Penumbra Overture is essentially from the guys that made Amnesia, but before they made Amnesia, so it's a first-person horror game that doesn't rely on There's some combat, but mostly you're just exploring, and I just did not enjoy it at all. It was an old pick, though.
Okay. I think for me, I haven't been on a lot of game episodes. I've only been on like 4, I think. So I guess for me, it might be, Friday the 13th, although I actually did enjoy my time with it. It's a kind of a decent game, y'all.
It just doesn't explain anything. That's the main problem with that game.
Well, that's why you need the manual. You get yourself the manual and, and then look it up. And it has most of what you need. It even tells you what characters have what special abilities and like what their stats are. It's actually a very clever game. It's just poorly implemented, like I said at the time. I mean, second place would be Fear Effect. Fear Effect is so...
man.
Fear
I didn't
Effect
know you were on that one.
It's so batshit out of your mind. It's so insanely crazy. I had a really good time watching someone else play it on a Let's Play. It's got tank controls, and as I've said before, I'm allergic. I can't play. I don't know how to do it. So
that was another one I tried to play alongside the show before I joined, and like I made it through the first couple levels, and it's not great. But I was really interested in the characters and the story and all that. But I was not going to keep subjecting myself to it by playing it myself.
It's a really fun game to watch someone play and just kind of skip through the actual gameplay stuff. It's a trim 4 hours if you have that kind of time to burn. You do it over a couple. No, you really don't. So it's kind of a toss up between Friday the 13th and Fear Effect. It's
some bad games, man.
Yeah, the first 2 you put me on were real dogs.
Yeah.
You did not. Yeah.
I got Operation Raccoon City and Aliens Infestation.
And then you put me on Mega Man X, which of course was the perfect apology for me. So thank you.
Now I got to pick my own games, and it's so much better.
Yeah, I can imagine.
There are better games now in general, though, because me and you have very much the same interests.
Yeah.
And so there's less weird shit too.
Oh, I still play the weird.
I mean, there is weird. I mean, this whole season we've been doing a lot of stuff that is not like big games, but we just want to play for some reason. All right, next question I got from Eric Glenn. What games would best be served by a remake, a remaster, and a removal from our memories forever?
Oh, man.
I'll go first. I have a remake at least. Remake Final Fantasy VI, because come on now, just remake that damn game.
I don't agree. I really don't. I thought about Final Fantasy VI. It's just fine the way it is. It's just leave it as a beautiful little nugget of awesome. And
I
don't need voice acting, because you know what they're gonna do. They're gonna throw a lot of anime junk at it. They're just gonna they'll take the anime spray gun and just coat it. So
I'll change my answer. Remake. I want Xenogears. I'll go with that because that game.
All right, yeah, that's cool.
So they can actually finish the second disc.
Well, they finished it. They just instead of having dungeons to explore and bosses to fight, you sit in a chair and he talks about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the second disc of that game because they ran out of time and budget.
And when we say remake, is that kind of like a Final Fantasy remake or Final Fantasy VII, where they're really just retooling, almost changing story? And remake is just a fresh coat of paint, or remaster rather. Remaster is just up at HD.
So yeah, Final Fantasy VI would be good for a remaster. Just kind of make everything prettier.
Yeah, I would be fine with that.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to bring up that or the Steam version. Yeah, technically it happened, but man, is it not prettier? I
can't handle it. I seen it, and I'm like, nope, this is not nope. Can't do it.
Remake. Man, I don't know. These are these kind of questions I really need to sit down and do research.
I know.
It's too much pressure.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, the whole point of this is meant to be kind of very off the cusp.
Yeah, this is all hamana. Like, so I would say I'm just gonna kind of just again not thinking. I'm gonna say remaster the original Doom if they haven't done it already. I don't know if they have. I would love to see the original Doom remastered. Yeah, just be good. I'd love to see that in just high res and HD and nice coat of paint on it. I want to see Hitler explode at the very end and just beautiful,
beautiful HD.
Yeah, exactly. It's just be really fun. Either that or Duke Nukem. One or the other.
I don't know if I want to be a full-on remake or a remaster, but either Fallout 3 or Oblivion, which are both amazing games, but they could probably use a fresh coat of paint, fresh touch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing New Vegas right now, and someone actually does need to remake that damn game because it is buggy as hell. Oh my! I can't talk to an NPC without them just bouncing up and down out of nowhere. They're just bouncing.
I think someone's working on making all of New Vegas in the Fallout 4 engine.
I love the modding community so much. I spent a day downloading mods and installing stuff. Better textures, better this, better that. Still buggy as hell, but
yeah. It's like Fallout 3 doesn't even have iron sights on the guns.
No, they don't. Yeah, because combat's not great in either of those games.
It's been so long that I played Fallout 3.
I'm going to say New Vegas with a remake, but include all the stuff the modders have done, like all the cool DLC, all the cool like story stuff they built. Yeah, really go crazy and just make this a 500-hour game that I live in forever. And for kill, I'm going to say... Does anyone else have a kill right now? Because I still want to think it through.
I should. There are a few games I feel like I never want to play again in my life, but I can't. They're not like at the top of my head at the moment.
Robotech Battle Cry comes to
mind. You did hate that game, so okay, I'll take it.
Oh, they should remake 13, Mike. And do it right this time.
I do want to try the remake, to be honest, but I'm not buying it for that price. So I do really want to try it. I can't think of anything that have erased from my memory. Final Fantasy 11. We'll go with that. Erase that from my memory forever.
Why? I thought you loved 11.
That gave me of history. We'll just go.
Okay.
I played the game way too much, and I got a lot of history of Final Fantasy 11.
Okay.
I can't think of a better answer.
No, my answer for kill is I want to kill a game that hurts the industry. So I'm going to say hatred.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's such an ugly, gross game that gives politicians and other such people fodder to bring out their video games cause violence card every 5 years. And so anything that kind of hurts the industry, I'd like to see done away with. And hatred's one of those. So I'm going to say that.
Okay, well, that's a real game.
It is.
Oh yeah. That is gross. Like Bill said, that's the perfect word for it.
Wow.
It kind of sucks. It
didn't do very good either. Got like a 3 on GameSpot.
Well, it's a smaller game, so I think again people probably forget it exists. But when it came out, it caused a stir. It's basically just literally random violence for no good reason. Ugh, yuck! It's just a shitty game made by shitty people.
That's what it looks like too.
It's very gross. It's gross.
You know what needs a remaster? Alone in the Dark 2008.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It does some really cool things, but it is not put together well. That game is a buggy ass mess. I would like to see it in its full potential.
There you go.
I remember enjoying that game.
Oh God. Yeah, well, we know how your memory works for these games that you think you liked back in the day.
Yeah, and you'll find out one day because it's gonna be. I'm gonna have us play it one day. All right, and last question from this group before I go on to the next group from Chad Hager. When are you going to apologize for your Iron Man 3 episode?
Never.
Yeah, no.
Never.
Why would we apologize?
Because I liked it. I think it's all based on me. Where I said it's a good movie. I enjoyed it.
You personally? Okay,
that's a fair question then. Yeah. When are you going to apologize for that, Mike?
Never. The whole thing about the whole MCU watch through is that it's all about like how I felt about the movie at that time. For some reason, that movie really I enjoyed it that time. Yeah. I don't understand.
Did you say you liked it during the episode though? Was that a shelf?
Yeah, he shelved it.
Oh man, yeah, you really do need to apologize, sir.
Which is really weird.
I read that question. I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. My opinions were pretty much spot on. It sucks.
But, as you read it, it sounded like someone that liked the movie and was mad at us for bashing it. But no,
seriously,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
I liked it. I don't think he likes that movie. Then he said also his serious question is, what would your top 3 games of all time be?
Yeah, I saw that one, so I'm prepared for that one.
Mine's Easy.
Yeah,
Chrono Trigger.
yeah.
Final Fantasy's probably Link to the Past.
That's good. Mine would be probably Mega Man X, obviously, and then Super Metroid, because that was my number one for the longest time. And then I really struggle with number 3 because there's a lot that could slot in there. I'm gonna say Portal. Yeah, I'm gonna say Portal because my computer desktop right now is a bunch of Aperture Laboratory stuff on there, and one of my favorite little toys is my turret, my little turret that lights up and shoots, and if you knock it over, it apologizes. So yeah, I think Portal. It's a game my wife and I play together. We play it at least once every 6 months. Just run through the first Portal, and not Portal 2, the first one.
Nice.
I've never played Portal 2 yet, but that might change later.
That is changing. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to playing it.
It's great, not quite as good as 1, in my opinion, but it's great.
It expands on the story and whatnot, which is fine. We'll talk about that in a couple weeks. Hold on, I gotta do mine.
Sorry.
I've said for many years now that Symphony of the Night's my favorite game of all time, but after replaying it last November, I think I might be ready to retire it and move on to more things. But for the purpose of this, so I don't have to think up 3, I'll say Symphony of the Night still number 1, then Fallout 3, maybe, and then Terraria, just because I put so many hours into all 3 of them, it's not even funny. I'll go with that.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And from the official Laser Time group, I have a couple questions. From Ryan Caltrell. What movie, book, or TV show that hasn't already become a video game do you think could adapt really well into a game? And what type of game would you make it?
Ooh, that's an excellent question.
I have an answer.
Me too. Go for it.
I Look Flame series. Action RPG. I love that book series by Robert Jordan. It's there is supposed to be a PC game of it, like something random where it's a first-person shooter, but I never been able to find it or get it to work. It's an old abandonware game. But I want an action RPG of that series, Wheel of Time. For those that know what I'm talking about, they understand.
Mine's kind of similar to that. The Harry Dresden series, the Dresden Files, where he's basically a wizard solving magic crimes in Chicago. So some kind of action and adventure thing would be super fun.
Okay.
I'm still thinking. You guys are too fast to prepare answers.
That was one of those ones that I was like, oh yeah.
Instant. That was immediate. Man, I don't consume a lot of movie. I don't know, because I definitely don't consume a lot of TV.
I don't
Most
read.
movies have games.
I just went with book.
Yeah.
Book is I love Wheel of Time. I read it twice. It's like 15 or 16 books long. I won't read it again probably, but it's a huge series. I mean, unfortunately, the author died midway through it, and they're supposed to make a TV series of it. They've said they've said all sorts of things, but I don't. It's like Lord of the Rings, but high fantasy type stuff.
I think another good one would be based on the Jumper series, not the stupid ass movie that completely blows. But the books are fun. It's based about a guy that can teleport and uses it to get in all kinds of shenanigans and whatnot. It's actually a pretty dark series.
It is. Oh, I was thinking of Looper. Okay, Jumper. That's different. All right.
Yeah.
I've never seen Jumper. I'm gonna say, because I like where you're going with books. Movies are hard because movies don't make good games for a lot of different reasons. I'm gonna say the Dark Tower series. I would love to see the Dark Tower series as a game and do it in Fallout style. Like seriously, just do Fallout, roaming this wasteland and all the interesting characters and things you can do. So I think Dark Tower.
David Cage thinks games make good movies.
Oh, don't get me started. Really. How much time do you have? How much time do you got?
Not that much.
Just make movies. But you can't because you're not that good at it. So, oops. I don't know.
All right. From Mike Eaton, Snake versus Sam Fisher versus Agent 47. Who wins?
Oh, I mean, Agent 47, I would think, right?
I don't know, because he's not super big into pure combat. He's like the stealthy killy guy.
Yeah,
I'm going
really.
to say CQC? I'm going to say Snake.
I'm going to throw in a wild card and say Samus.
Nice. She can just roll into a ball and just dash through everyone's legs like a cartoon. Well, I'd want Agent 47 to be the winner of that because he'll dispatch everyone in an extremely creative way.
Yeah.
So that I want him to be it. But probably Snake. But it also depends on where they're fighting too, I think. Yeah, Snake's going to win that battle, but man, I really hope he doesn't.
What about Gabe Logan? He can come in with the air taser and set everyone on fire.
Someone out there got really happy that you mentioned that.
Siphon filter, yeah.
The Siphon filter series is not That's dead serious.
Oh yeah, the only reason to play is to set people on fire with the taser.
I do want to someday play it for the show, just because it's one of those games I remember playing as a kid, but never beat the first game, so I always want to go back and finish it. But
We can probably make that happen.
yeah, it'd have to be you because I'm not going to pick it.
My real answer would also be Snake, just because when it comes to a full-out fight, that he's going to be the most equipped for it.
Yeah, not depends on which Snake we're talking about, but yeah, we'll just go with Snake.
Big
All right.
Snake.
And then from Jeremy Greening, PSP Go, N-Gage, Hell in a Cell, who comes out on top?
PSP Go.
Oh,
You
yeah.
put some emulators on that bad boy, that thing is gold. I love mine.
Yeah, I wish I had one for that exact reason. It is a gorgeous emulation machine. So yeah, that's
Why
just,
I want one. I just
Yep.
haven't done it for some reason. I don't know why I haven't done it yet, actually.
I wanted one for years, and then I got my holiday bonus last year, and I'm like, I want to finally pull the trigger on this.
very nice. Very nice.
I do that. I haven't done it. And N-Gage, what the fucking N-Gage?
The taco phone. Everyone
That's
knows
it.
that thing.
Yeah, that's that classic piece of gaming slash telephonic
I remember when
hardware.
it came out. I remember at EB Games, they had games for the N-Gage. I remember, but the N-Gage, like, you had to like take it apart to put the game in.
This is
Right.
not even a fair fight. This is Mr.
Yeah.
Sandman versus oh god, the Glass Joe.
Yeah. This is Glass Joe and Glass Joe's little brother. It's never put on gloves. It's with the N-Gage, you had to take the back off, right? Yeah, you had to.
You take the battery out too, if I remember correctly, to put the
Oh my
game
god.
in.
Why would you do
dumb.
such a
Not
senseless
it.
thing?
You had to hold it sideways because the speaker was on the side of the phone, not like how you would hold a normal phone. So that's why he called it taco phone, because you'd hold it like a taco. You'd hold
Yeah.
It's shaped like a taco.
And it is shaped like a delicious taco. Yes.
It died so quickly too.
Didn't that have like Mortal Kombat and
I think there's an Elder Scrolls game on it.
get out of here?
Actually,
Please, can we
what-
emulate the N-Gage?
The lifespan was 2003 to 2006. It says, but it was
Way.
Yeah.
It died pretty quick though.
Yeah, half of that was on a respirator in hospice. Like that, it was. Come on, it wasn't living a full good life. It was
Yeah, the Elder Scrolls Travels Shadow Key, whatever the hell that was.
get out of here,
And
man.
there's
Oh
two
man.
Splinter Cell games. There's a Ghost Recon game. Like they made stuff for this thing.
Yeah, they have big. Well, it was Nokia, right, at the time, or
Mhm.
Nokia, depending on your pronunciation. Actually, yeah, no, but yeah, they were huge cell phone companies, so that doesn't surprise me. They had publishers. Didn't they do Duke Nukem? Was that on the N-Gage too? I don't know. I could look it up with my powers of the internet, but
There was a
First
Call of
one.
Duty, no Duke Nukem.
First Red Faction was on there too.
God,
There's
Wow.
not.
What were you about to lie?
Red Faction 1 is not a good game.
What?
I played
Wow.
it not too long before the podcast. I beat it, I think.
We're testing this theory here before too long.
Yeah, okay.
I've never played it, but I know people really like it. So
But I like Armageddon, so whatever.
you mean the movie?
No, Red
Oh.
Faction Armageddon. The last one that everyone says killed the series because it wasn't Gorilla 2.
I got
Yeah.
all excited because I think I'm the only person in the world who really does like Armageddon the movie.
Never
Some
seen
people
it.
do. I never seen it.
Unironically.
I'm trying to keep it that way, though, with me. It still brings up all the time. It's like, you haven't seen it? I'm like, no, we're going to keep it this way.
It's a guilty pleasure for me, for sure.
All right. And then I got some questions from the Super Nintendo Super Group. Yeah.
Nice.
First one from Justin Matthew. What's your favorite Super Nintendo game to play?
Mike, what's your favorite Super Nintendo game to play? Is it Chrono Trigger?
Yeah. I have a few, but that is by far my favorite. But I really love Mega Man X, the first one.
Yeah.
Only the first one passed.
You haven't played 3 yet.
Great game. How about
Yeah,
you,
I'm
Mike?
Saying that.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Go ahead, Bill. I need to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, mine's pretty easy. It's my favorite game of all time, so it would be Mega Man X. I just want to think of like a number 3 that would be. That way it's just interesting because it would be Mega Man X, then Super Metroid. Yeah, number 3, probably maybe Final Fantasy 6. Yeah, I have so much heart for it. I've probably finished that game a dozen times. Yeah, it's a great marriage of that classic turn-based RPG. I don't even mind grinding. It's it's fun. I'll take that one. Either that's Super Mario World, which is I think the best Mario game ever made. So, yeah,
It's up there.
either one.
I wanted to pull something out of the left field because I don't want to just throw out everything that's on the Super Nintendo Mini. I'm going to go with Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals, which is a great RPG that has the best side quest of all time in the Ancient Cave. 99 random levels. It's basically the roguelike within the RPG itself. Good time.
Interesting. I've never. I think I've heard of it. Maybe it was like a blurb in GamePro, in the RPG section. or Nintendo Power?
It's a really famous RPG for Super Nintendo. It's also very expensive because I think it's near the end of the lifespan.
Yeah, I think it was 95. I have a copy, but the battery doesn't save anymore, which is sad.
That's fine. You own it. There are other ways to play it.
I'm sure there are. Very quick sidetrack. Do you guys have Nintendo Power as kids?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and probably not you, Mike. You're a little younger lad.
I had it though, or I bought some.
Okay, so do you remember back in the early days of Nintendo Power, they would have an entire RPG section. It was just that, and that shows you how rich with RPGs the Super Nintendo was, because they had a whole section. Every month would have at least three or four games in it with like information about it. Yeah,
they were really trying to tell us stupid Americans, like, these games are cool, you want to check them out.
Basically, right, exactly. Hey, we made these things. They can't just sell in Japan. Let's please. Yeah.
It's definitely up there too. If I want to go for a more conventional answer.
Yeah, we agreed. I played Earthbound last year for the first time, and as I put it to a friend who is a huge Earthbound fan, it's a singular experience everyone must play. That is full of amazing flavor, has some of my favorite moments in a game ever, that plays like absolute death. Is boring combat. The inventory is, I can't say broken.
Yeah.
The inventory is inexcusable for the era. Inexcusable. That should not be. I'm sorry. It shouldn't. The combat's very boring. The progression's very boring. The fact that you can't, in the middle of a battle, see what your items do, which means you have to realize that the blinding carrot does something stupid, because the only way you can tell is if you go into your player's guide that came with the game, or go into your inventory menu and see what it looks like, but you have to remember what the bazooka does to go. It is a great game to play with a spoiler-free walkthrough, which is what I did. And it is amazing in that regard.
There you go.
That's how you play that game. Don't try to play it legit.
Nah, you can't. I mean, it's hard to play any game from Nintendo, like RPG-wise, legit, because there's so many things that you just won't notice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we played a game on the show recently that if I wouldn't have had a guide, I wouldn't have been able to figure out, but I can't think of what it was now.
Illusion of Gaia, maybe?
Okay, yeah, that's 100% what Illusion of Gaia is one of those games where it just wouldn't have made sense. I mean, a lot of it was in my head, but otherwise I wouldn't have figured out some of that stuff. Like, I couldn't, it took me years to beat that game the first time.
I got to re-pick up Breath of Fire 2. I started that game, and it's great. For some reason,
That's another one that a lot of people talk about very highly, and has always been on my list, but I have never played it really, other than more than a couple hours. Someday. I keep telling myself someday I'm going to play that game, and one day I will make it on the show. Only way it's going to happen, so.
Yeah.
All right, a couple more. This one from Jeff. We're just going to say Jeff. I'll get to that. A couple dumb questions, but they're funny. What happens when my Sega and SNES are on the same shelf? Do they still argue?
Only in the 90s.
Yeah, I think that hatch has been buried at this point, but I think there might be some familial kind of gripe that still hangs in the air. It's a little tense, but they're fine. They connect over, favorite sports teams and but I think some arguments still ripe up, especially around Christmas when a couple of them have one too many eggnogs. That can sometimes cause a little tension.
And the other question he had, a second question: why does everyone love Donkey Kong 3? I can't tell he might be being sarcastic in this stuff because he's kind of
like NES Donkey Kong 3 or Donkey Kong Country 3.
Oh, he doesn't. Yeah, I'm assuming he probably meant maybe. I mean, this is Super Nintendo. We're just gonna go with Donkey Kong Country 3.
That's my guess. Yeah.
That's the one I played the most of because I didn't have 2, so I played it quite a bit. I think I 103%ed it or whatever the hell it was back in the day for that one.
Really I have never played 3 much. I mean, I played a little bit, but not a lot. I really want to try it someday, really bad.
I think with me, it's just nostalgia, but it's on the Switch, so you can have rewind.
Yeah, that's why I also want to play it.
And Bill, we know you love this series, so.
I was gonna say nothing. I don't understand why people like Donkey Kong Country at all. Any of them, really. I don't get it. It doesn't play well. It's a very ugly game. It's a tech demo for all the cool things they could do with the Silicon Graphics workstation. So they were more concerned about 10 layers of snow and then realizing, oh, you can't see your character in a platforming game. It doesn't matter. It's a rhythm game. All that game is, it's a rhythm game, which is not platforming. If you want to say that argument, that's not what platforming is. It's just a rhythm game. So if you get into the rhythm of bouncing on things and going through barrels, you can fly through a lot of that game. There's some good flavor in it. I just don't understand. I played through it recently, 6 months ago with my kid, And I'm just like, I don't get why people like this so much. It's not terribly fun. And then I tried playing 2 and trying to manipulate Dixie and Diddy with that floaty controls. I'm like, I'm not enjoying myself. And it's hard. Holy God, that game. The second one is freaking hard.
I'm playing Tropical Freeze on the Switch right now, and I'm struggling with it just because all these same reasons. Like, the game hasn't really evolved since the Super Nintendo. Like, they're still just tough.
It just feels really floaty and imprecise, where platforming needs to be tight and precise. Like, that's the point. And the bosses in Donkey Kong Country, like, I can't speak to 3. I'm not going to play it. Well, maybe one day. The bosses are inexcusable. Almost as bad as the inventory I found. The fact they are so insulting, it's comical. The fact that you just made your small sprites bigger, and the only thing original is a stupid drum that you can't hit. You just dodge enemies. You've been dodging for the last 5 levels. And King K. Rool could not be. It's so just straightforward and simple. They're just not challenging. They're not fun. Just let them go into the thing and find the bananas. Hooray! Don't show off your scaling abilities on the Silicon Graphics workstation.
This was exactly the rabbit hole I expected.
Yeah, really. You teed me up on this one, huh? You really did.
All right, and
opt the softball on purpose, huh? Okay, very good.
And last question I'm going to read from this guy is third question. If you create a podcast with no listeners, is it a podcast or a pod roast? Which essentially he was giving me shit because I asked for questions in this group, but I'm not normally. I do post in this group sometimes, but I mean, my whole thing was I guess I didn't mention that we were hitting 50,000, but yeah, we've been downloaded 50,000 times, so someone's listening to us.
Exactly, unless someone's trying to just randomly fill their phone or with random episodes, sir.
Randomly, like today, there was just like someone download like almost the entire, like a bunch of the catalogs. Those people do that every so often.
Huh. Cool. That's awesome.
I mean, you have certain jobs. All right, a couple more good questions from Matthew Waters. You have a game that you just loved as a kid, but when you tried playing it as an adult, you realized how terrible it was in spite of your nostalgia.
I think that's the reason you made this show.
That might not be wrong. I mean, I can't think of a Super Nintendo game off the top of my head that I have played and I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. But because I think if I liked it as a kid, I'm just going to like it. Like, I'm not going to let that stop. Nostalgia won't go away, the drug.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Mystic Quest is a great game. And I don't think I'm right, but I can't change that fact.
It's okay.
Mega Man X2. We did that episode last fall, and man, it's rough.
Do you have nostalgic for that one, though?
No, not especially. I played more of 1 and 3.
I played a lot of 1, and 1, as we played on the show, too. 1 is still amazing, but 2 was hard for me. But
does it have to be a Super Nintendo game?
No, it doesn't. I mean, it's a Super Nintendo group, but yeah, sure. If you have something else, go ahead. Yeah,
well, if you want to stick with Super Nintendo, see my last answer, the Donkey Kong. I played a ton of it when I was a kid. When I was a kid, you get one game, so I played a ton of it, and I had a lot of nostalgia for it. But man, playing it recently with my son, I was like, my God, this is not good. Maybe that in the original Star Fox. Original Star Fox, it's hard flying at 10 frames per second. Let's just say that, guys.
Yeah.
10 frames a second is a really hard game to play, but there's a lot of flavor. I think the biggest from you be GoldenEye. That's my answer.
Okay.
GoldenEye is nigh unplayable because you need 2 sticks. You just need them.
Episode 10.
Is it? Oh, I don't think I've listened to it. It's nigh unplayable. It's, at least for me, I was at a convention, retro gaming convention thing a couple of years ago, and they had an N64, with GoldenEye in it, right? Of course, I sit down with it, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Like, how did we do this back as kids? So that's one for me that's just not aged well.
I think a lot of games anymore, trying to play old stuff, we're so conditioned to the way games are now. Games that were of the era, as they say, are just hard to go back to at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we're finding out, especially the PS2 era. My God.
2002 to 2003, at least. We're starting around 2003. It's a tough era to go back to because its games were like still. I mean, I think early PS1 is hard too because of the graphics, but like early PS2, some of the difficulties are just they don't know what they're doing yet.
Yeah, I liken that PS1 era especially to a teenager, who's just awkward. Like he's not quite an adult, but he's not quite a kid. So he's just still trying to figure out. He's all like bony elbows and just weird, janky body construction because your body's still growing. You don't know what you're awkward and strange. And that's kind of what that PS1 era is. It's just the awkward, gangly teenager of the video game era. So it's hard to go back to that because if you think back to you as a teenager, you probably sucked. And I know I did. So we're in the same boat. So
All right. From Aaron Gasper, what was your first Super Nintendo game you played, and what was your favorite launch game? I got an answer for this one. The first Super Nintendo game I played was the one that my mom bought me, found me when she got me my Super Nintendo. It's a game that I unfortunately got rid of because I couldn't play it. Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Good way to start.
Yep.
Yeah, well, she didn't know anything about games. She just, she bought me the new system and got, she knew I liked that type of stuff because it's like, okay, he'll like this, but God, I want to say either that day or the next day she bought me Turtles in Time because I couldn't play Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
That's a much better game.
Yeah,
Indeed.
and that's been my game ever. I mean, that's one of my favorite games.
Were there really only 5 launch games for the Super Nintendo?
Yep, just 5. So
Oh, boy.
there was just 5, but for holiday there were more. I think there was like 15 available for
The
Christmas.
launch window.
Yep, there was an article I've been trying to write for 2 years now where I actually do a tournament style with all the launch titles.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I did actually one for Nintendo, the Nintendo launch library. There was a lot of junk in the Nintendo launch library, and there's a lot of junk in the Super Nintendo.
Oh, I guess wow, yeah, you're right. The Super Nintendo does not have a good launch. I mean, Super Mario World's a good launch, so is SimCity, but yeah, that's not much.
Yeah,
I guess we could run through them real quick. Super Mario World, F-Zero, Pylo Wings, Gradius 3, and SimCity.
Wow.
yeah.
I've only played 2 of those games.
Yeah, if you count games that were released within before Christmas, like you could buy it for Christmas, because again there was only 5 that were released at launch. My first was Super Mario World. That was the one I got. That was when I popped in, and I realized at that age it'll never get better than this. That's what I said. I said it'll never get better.
I mean, for some people that could never get better.
Well, it is the best Mario game ever made. So whatever, that's fine.
3D World.
So yeah, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Hyperzone. Have you ever played Hyperzone?
I've heard of it.
Spoiler, don't. It's just crappier F-Zero. SimCity. SimCity was a holiday release title. You could buy that for Christmas. Ultraman Toward the Future. You ever play Ultraman Toward the Future?
Nope.
Don't. It's not good. It's pretty crappy. Darius Twin, one of, I think, 3 shmups that were released for holiday. Versus and an RPM Racing, which is putrid, as I put in my notes here as I'm looking at it. Putrid. I use that word. It's just like Super Off-Road, but bad. UN Squadron, which is surprisingly good.
That's
Oh,
good.
yeah, that game's great.
It's really great.
It's hard as balls, but it's great.
It's freaking impossible. That was a cheat code one for me when I was reviewing it. Bill Lambier's Combat Basketball.
Andy McNamara has a sordid history with this game.
I have a lot of heart for it, to be honest with you. It is like, I forgot, I was talking to somebody about it, and they're like, this game would have been amazing on Atari. Like, with just one button and a stick. That's all you really need. I kind of love it. There is a impossible game called Draken.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a PC styled RP. It's like first person, but again early. So if you hit the left button, it takes 4 seconds for the geometry to draw. It's pretty bad. Super Baseball Simulator 1000. Love that game because it gives your it's just standard baseball. Or you can play it on Ultra Mode, which if you don't do that, you're a cop. And Ultra Mode allows you to have superpowers. So you can throw the ball at 200 miles an hour. You can slide across the entire screen. You can jump 80 feet in the air to catch a fly ball. It's freaking fun. Steal that game. It's a lot of fun. It's a good 2-hour game to just. Paperboy 2, Super Off-Road, which is great. And Gradius 3, ActRaiser. People forget ActRaiser was a very early Super Nintendo game. Mm-hmm. Super Bases Loaded, Super Tennis, get the theme. That's what they did. That never ended. There was 2 golf games. I forgot. Heil's Hole-in-One Golf, Super R-Type, which is also good, and True Golf Classics. Like I said, there was 2 golf games.
It's the rabbit hole I didn't expect this to go down.
Yeah, sorry, I'll just very quickly. John Madden Football, which is first Madden. There was chess. You could play chess. Imagine, very quickly, I'm going over. Imagine, as the child, it's Christmas. Your friends are all talking about the Super Nintendo. It's been at school, so you have some friends who had it, for that first semester. You get your Super Nintendo, and then your mom gives you chess to play on the Super Nintendo because she says, well, I think at one point you'll be in the chess club, and I understand it's good for your brain development, it teaches you. All your friends are playing Super Mario World and F-Zero. You're playing chess.
Oh,
that's what therapy is built for. And then Populous. which I wrote in my thing. If SimCity swallowed a vat of performance-enhancing drugs and developed a god complex, you'd have Populous. Wow. It's kind of like a world-building simulator, but like as if you're God, not just a city architect.
I know my uncle had a Super Nintendo, so I probably would play it. I remember playing Mario World, Pilot Wings, and Magical Quest there, but I didn't know which one would have been first. Of those original launch, those 5 on the launch, I think I'd rather play SimCity than Mario World if I'm gonna do a big marathon session.
SimCity's super fun. I love
that original one.
Oh yeah, it's great. 2000 was my jam.
Oh yeah, that's good too.
Yeah. Oh, and then you have, of course, the F-Zero, Castlevania 4, Final Fantasy 2, Final Fight, and Pilot Wings. Although I just didn't mention those.
Cool. Good stuff.
Okay, we got to move on from this group. I'm sorry. One last question.
I'm sorry.
From this guy, from Dustin Gonzalez. What are your thoughts on repro carts of ROM hacks, and would you ever use a cartridge like the SD2 SNES or Super Everdrive? No, because I just use ROM, but I mean, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, I loaded up my SNES Mini with a bunch of stuff, so I can't say I'm against it.
Yeah. I mean, I think, especially when it comes to ROM hacks, like, why not? It's something different. It's not the game. It's something completely created extra from the game, but still.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what any of those things are, so, I mean, yeah.
I can explain it real fast. Well, ROM hack is when you take a game and you mess with the settings, you change things in the game, like take Super Metroid and flip everything horizontal, because they did that.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah.
Or vertical. They flip everything vertical, like stuff like that, or... And the EverDrive is where you can fit a bunch of ROMs or games on a Super Nintendo cartridge and plug it into your real Super Nintendo. That's what that is.
Without ROM hacks, we wouldn't have randomizers. So
yeah. That's what I was just going to ask that. If that birthed randomizers, then yes, it's a derivative work. It's great.
He also had a question about randomizers, but I'm not reading that because I want to move on.
Randomizers are awesome. I've never played one, but I really enjoy watching people like on Twitch and stuff playing them. They're
I
super.
won't do it.
Link to the Past and Super Metroid are both really fun, randomized.
All right. Okay. And from the Retro Gaming Revival, I didn't really get any questions or anything, but I'm going to read at least one thing that they said, just because I want to. From David Medina. Imagine if Nintendo let Sony make the SNES CD add-on. PlayStation would not have been a thing, and there wouldn't be an N64. That was the biggest they ever did as a company. I disagree.
Yeah, that was probably one of their biggest missteps, or just being kind of clueless and oblivious to where gaming was going. Yeah, I think Nintendo was just really stuck in their ways. Cartridge was the way to go, and
plus games were.
Yeah, sorry.
They made a lot of money off cartridges because they would charge people. You have to buy their cartridges so they could control the price.
Well, Nintendo does love money more than anything, so everyone should be aware of that at this point. No, Nintendo loves money more than anything. Don't get me started. Have a different episode of Bill complains about stuff. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's definitely one of their biggest missteps. I mean, you can call the Virtual Boy a misstep and the Wii U a misstep, but I think that was a cultural misstep. That was something that really affected the course of games as opposed to just a failed console. Yeah, that's fair. That's cool. Good point.
Your biggest misstep was not releasing the Wii Vitality sensor.
Yes, I need to know my heart rate at all times. We won't be able to do that on our watches now. Come on, it's never going to happen.
Okay, and from the Twin City Geeks group, I got one from Pat. Because I asked for any like pop culture or funny questions, and I got from Patrick Lothrop. Spot the odd one out. Boromir, Dathomir, Faramir, Denethor. I have no idea. I know who Boromir is, and that's all I got. And
I don't know what any of those things are.
Yeah,
me either.
You've lost. The second I heard Fear, I said, "Okay, listen, my brain just turned off."
So I just wanted.
So you stumped us, sir. Congratulations.
I stumped my own self too. I have no idea.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say the second one. Just I don't even remember what they were, but I'm gonna go with that.
I want to give a shout out to the Facebook, any Facebook group that if someone comments, I try to give them a shout out.
Yeah, no, thanks for commenting and thanks for listening. Really do appreciate that.
Listen, but you comment.
Well, I mean, listen, we assume. Hey, but anyone who asks a question here should listen to the episode to hear their question read. So you should do that.
That one guy, there was a guy who ended up fighting with me on one of the groups, being calling me a hack and all sorts of stuff because I asked for questions.
Oh, pumpkin.
Yeah, I was like if you don't want to just ignore it. Like you don't need to be an ass. But yeah, I had to be an ass. So that was amusing me. All right, and from the Sega Retro Gamers group, because I started to kind of after that happened, I started to ask questions a little differently. I didn't mention 50K. I didn't mention Celebration. I just mentioned hey, this is my favorite retro game. What's your favorite from this era? And so I got some Sega questions now. First one from Tom Storm. Gunstar Heroes are the best game on Genesis. Agree or disagree? I disagree.
It's good. It's real good. I don't know. I don't think it's the best or my favorite by any means.
No, mine neither.
in that era, I was a corporal in the Nintendo Sega Bit Wars. I was heavily involved. I would not play a Sega console to save my life. I've played very little Sega to this day. I could probably count on two hands how many Sega games I've played. I have played Gunstar Heroes. Is that the super fast one? You have the guy shooting all over? Yeah, that game is phenomenal. So for me, I'll say yes, because I don't understand Sonic. I don't get why people like Sonic. It's beyond my comprehension. Oh. I don't get it. Don't get me started. Get an episode. First, we're entitled. Bill complains about stuff, and I will complain about Sonic for 10 minutes. And no one will listen to it, because why would you? Yeah, Gunstar Heroes is amazing, though. That is a damn good game, but I have no Sega knowledge, very little, so I'm going to be probably out of this one.
Okay. Big fan of any game that lets you like combine abilities to make new things.
Oh, yeah. It's phenomenal. Yeah.
It does do that.
And let's see what else I got. Mostly I just got people's favorite retro games. And one guy, let's see. Matt said, I remember I had the backpack and sneakers. Okay. Let's see what else I got here. And I will read this guy's top 5 favorite Genesis games from Dan Leonard. Streets of Rage 2, RoboCop vs. Terminator, Maximum Carnage, Hyperstone Heist, and NHL 94.
Hyperstone Heist is an interesting one.
It's a Turtles game.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Game too.
Yeah, I've never played it. Of course, I've played Turtles in Time 100 times, but yeah, Hyperstone Heist, huh? And NHL 94 is
real good if you don't have access to Turtles in Time.
I have a Genesis emulator, of course, on my 3DS, and NHL 94 is the one I play most of the time on that. It is the best NHL game ever made. Yeah, and the newest NHL game is going to have like that classic mode where you can just play it with the updated rosters and everything else. So I think EA finally realizes that as well. That's a good selection. I got to play Maximum Carnage. People love that game.
No, you don't.
It's rough.
Really? Okay. Good. People love that game. So I would love to. I think
stupid.
I think jeez.
It's a bad game.
You're talking to your listening audience here, sir.
Maximum Carnage is a beat 'em up for those that don't know, but that game is not good. I mean, I'm glad he liked it, but it's not good. It's a hard game too.
And Streets of Rage 2 is phenomenal.
That deserves to be up at the top there.
Oh yeah, that's
phenomenal.
Thank God there's no Sonic games on it.
Sonic 2 is his runner-up.
Okay.
So, Sonic 2 is a really good game.
They have great music.
Yeah, I guess I can give you that. Yeah.
And then somebody else also had mentioned about connecting Sonic Knuckles to Sonic 3, the only way to play it, which he's 100% right.
Yep, correct.
And let's see, from the Giant Bomb group, I actually got a few. First question I'm going to read from friend of the show, Tony Carras. I probably said his name wrong, I bet, but it's okay. Hey, he likes that game, so it's all right. It's all right. What's a retro series that deserves a new iteration? Diddy Kong Racing, Snowboard Kids, and Gunstar Heroes need to come back.
him and Snowboard Kids.
Jeez. The new that deserve a new iteration. I mean, Parasite Eve. I want a new Parasite Eve. That's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, in the vein of the first game, not to her third birthday.
I can't speak for third birthday yet. Soon I can speak for third birthday.
I want a new, good, sprite-based side-scroller beat 'em up.
Yes, a good one. Yeah, right. It's Streets of Rage 4 or 5. Didn't they try to do Streets of Rage another one?
They did do Streets of Rage 4. It's not bad.
Okay.
I want a new Kid Chameleon. Actually, go back. That's going to be my remake. I want Kid Chameleon remake.
Nobody wants
there we go.
Nobody wants Kid Chameleon. What the?
Oh, you know why I like that game.
I don't know why.
You have a bunch of different power-ups that give you different abilities and different costumes. That's my jam.
Bad game.
It's not bad. It's hard.
We'll change that someday. We'll cover it on a mini or something. But
I'm telling you, get it on PC, then you have Rewind, and it's a whole other game.
I played it many times over the years, and I've hated it every time I played it. So we'll see. I own it though, or I used to. I had the cartridge. All right. And from Ben Scott, I am continuously impressed with how glacial JRPGs have developed over the last 30-odd years. Why does it feel like the genre is so stagnant? I can answer this one. I mean, because it's just what it is. I mean, I don't think it's stagnant. I think it's changed a lot, but it's just, it's what works. They kind of kept with it. I mean, it's a JRPG is a turnstile-based game. You can only do so much with it in that aspect. I like it. I think it's just fine the way it is. But then again, I'm the guy who's about to play Before Crisis on my phone, which is a cell phone game. But hey, because it's a turnstile RPG.
That raises so many questions, like what even is an RPG anymore? Like, is Final Fantasy 15 truly an RPG? Blah, 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 blah.
Really? I've had this argument with people.
Yeah, we don't need to get into it, but...
Zelda is an RPG. Okay, listen, can I bang my head against this microphone, please? I think the the nuts and bolts of an RPG because the source of it were, Dungeons and Dragons. It has a D&D, right? So I think the guts of it haven't changed because that's just the roots of it. It's like a tree, like the roots of it are in there. And then, character progression, stat building, those things have filtered into other types of games so much that the lines are blurring. So if you look at a Final Fantasy 15, that's really an action RPG. It really depends on what you consider an RPG, what allows a game to have that title. And that I think is subjective based on your opinion. There could be some objective ways of looking at it. But yeah, I think it's just evolved so much. It's a hard question to answer because we're not doing turn-based anymore, unless you're playing Bravely Default or Octopath Traveler, which they are moving into that direction because there's value to those type of games. Yeah, I think now RPG is now embedded into the ecosystem of gaming as opposed to being its own thing. So, yeah.
Okay. And last comment from the Giant Bomb group, just because I want to read this and you'll know why. From Jeff Choi. I'm streaming Chrono Trigger now, and it's my first time playing it. That game still holds up pretty well. I'm loving it so far. The bosses are way harder than I expected, though. I'm always almost out of potions by the end of a fight. Hey, gotta give some love to Chrono Trigger.
Love that you said, as soon as you said, and you'll know why, I'm like, this is about Chrono Trigger. Here we go. Sure enough.
That's it. Chrono Trigger, it's funny how it kind of holds up. No, it holds up beautifully. It's a perfect example that gameplay will endure. That's it. If a game plays well, it'll endure no matter what else is going on with it. It's near flawless. I won't say perfect because there's no such thing as a perfect game. Well, there's one perfect game. Other than that, there's really no such thing as a perfect game. But
that spider boss in Mega Man X is not perfect.
That's right. No, exactly. Trust me, I agree. There's flaws in Mega Man X. There's flaws in Super Metroid. There's flaws in Link to the Past. There's flaws in Chrono Trigger. I really can't think of any right now, but there are some dead zones in that game. So, but yeah, good. You know what? That was a question I should have put on my list. Games that you wish you could play for the first time again.
Oh yeah, I know that's Mike's answer. He's mentioned it last week, I think.
Yeah, something like that. I feel about that game. So
yeah, for me, probably Portal. Anyway, we can move on. That's
all right. From the, I didn't get any questions because I asked a little differently after that in the Nintendo GameCube enthusiasts, however you say the word. So I kind of asked what their favorite retro games are. So I got a couple that I do want to read that I thought were interesting comments. For one, from Tom Arnold, F-Zero GX and Metroid Prime, almost impossible to choose between them. If I was stuck in a desert island, Tom Hanks style, I'd choose F-Zero GX. I've never. Have either of you ever played F-Zero GX?
No, I know it's the super crazy fast one.
Yeah. I've seen it once at a friend of mine who brought it over for GameCube, and it's a game that a lot of people like. It's the last F-Zero game, if I remember correctly, that we will ever get probably. Because there's no point to make one. The way Nintendo sees it, it's a franchise they don't really care about exactly. I want to play it someday though. I'm not a racing guy, but I do kind of want to try it.
I would say F-Zero. And again, I haven't played that version, but a racing game will always have, I think, a little more longevity because there's a sense of randomness to it. Like winning a race will always feel good, whereas playing through Metroid Prime after the 8th time, when you know all the bad Chozo lore, it's gonna be like you will kind of it'll get stale. Even though I very much so like that game.
This one is I think for Mike.
Go for Mike.
Whatever his last name is. Kirby's Air Ride. When I think of Kirby, I think of that game.
That's the start of that generation of we're going to make all these weird ass games and we're just going to put Kirby in them. Like Kirby's Mass Effect, Mass Attack, Mass Attack, Canvas Curse, Epic Yarn. So slap Kirby in there. Air Ride's fine. It's
because he's so damn cute.
He
everything
is.
He elevates everything he's in. Kirby's Pinball is probably still my favorite handheld pinball games. I will still rock some Kirby's Pinball.
I keep telling Mike we need to do a first-party Nintendo pinball episode.
That'd be actually really fun.
Let's see what other one I want to read from this group. Here's one. Jeffrey Moore. Battalion War is a classic in my opinion, but everyone who has posted before me, all their choices are equally great games. I never played Battalion Wars, but I always want to.
When you first read that, my mind heard Italian Wars, and I was very confused for a second. Battalion Wars is fine. We talked about it in the handheld episode, actually.
Yeah,
it's based in the Advanced Wars universe.
I actually found out the Advanced Wars series is a lot bigger than I thought it was because it was on other systems.
Yeah. It goes back to the Nintendo, just Famicom Wars.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That was cool to find out, though.
Yeah, it's a good series. Battalion Wars is fine. It's kind of tough.
I've never played it. I own it, but I've never played it. I think I own it.
It's on your favorite system.
I do like GameCube though, and now that I have,
yeah. Battalion Wars 2 is on the Wii.
yeah, fuck the Wii. The Wii's a great system. I just don't like it because I don't like gimmicks.
You don't like Waggle?
No waggle for me. And from Lemontino, his favorite game, Sonic Adventure 2. Haha, you are so right, sir. That is, that's a good game.
Nope.
Oh, I haven't gone on my love for Sonic Adventure 2 yet on this show. It's coming, though. I'm going to make Mike play it eventually. That is an amazing game.
We need Bill for his Sonic expertise then.
Yes, please. Let me put on my Sonic hat and my glasses and school you all on the lore. What?
Oh,
Sonic Adventure, is that the one that's like behind the creature?
Yep.
Oh, I saw something about it. Maybe it was a replay, or did they do that on replay? Sonic Adventure?
Just one person.
Probably. I don't know.
All right. Anyway, I'm not.
I have two more things to read. I have the one that Bill posted in Facebook, and you have a Twitter one too that you posted.
Yes. Okay.
I'll have you read the Twitter one because I don't understand Twitter, but I'll read the one that you posted here, and when you lied and said we only had $5,000, not $50,000.
I don't know. I missed a zero. You're killing me, Smalls. Oh, actually, no. I actually didn't only think it was 5,000. So I apologize for shorting you by 45,000.
From Troy Herman. So many thoughts. Battletoads, Billy Mitchell controversy, and a few other, but I will leave it up to the audience.
Billy Mitchell. That guy's a joke.
Billy Mitchell, and Mr. Hot Sauce. You know what? What annoys me the most about Billy Mitchell is his stupid American flag tie. Like, just his tie. It's like center justified on his body, and it just annoys me to no end. I have no problem with the American flag, all right? I'm not a don't throw anything at me, but it just bugs me. Like, he's like the paragon of American values. Work hard and eat hot sauce. And
also, if you type in Billy Mitchell in Google, you get General Billy Mitchell, who died in 1936.
Oh, I'd rather talk about whoever that is.
Yeah, really. Yes.
I mean, I'm a little curious. He served in France, World War I.
Battletoads, huh? What about Battletoads? Battletoads is fine. They're too hard.
It's fine, yeah. I mean, it's kind of famously bad, but I don't think it's famously bad. Just famously really hard and kind of janky. It's, obviously, what's the one? The speeder level is one everyone complains about.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's the same problem as Sonic for me, because you don't get enough information fast enough. So it requires you to fail over and over and over again before you realize where you're going. That's why Mario works great, because you always have just enough information to accurately make the next step. And if you fail, it's because you just didn't react fast enough. But you had enough information to make that decision the first time. I feel like whenever I play Sonic, I'm just smashing into spikes because it's going so fast. I just have them just going on the ride. Throw the controller in the air. Oh. So it requires a lot of iterations, and walking underwater is just, I don't know how people deal with that. So anyway, I don't know. Yeah, Battletoads, that's fine. It was a fun meme for a while. Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah. I imagine that's part of what this person was getting at.
Oh, and I have a dual question to read from my wife, Tiffany Albertin. Bill Tucker, how did you get suckered into doing the MCU? Because I'm pretty sure Mike Hughes wants to know how you got suckered into it, too.
After you, Michael.
I can't remember what I replied to her comment with, but it was something good. Promises of money and Turkish delight, I think.
Oh yeah, I read that one. Yeah, Turkish delights, very good. I was on I think it was after. Was it After X? No, it was after. Sorry,
Fear Effect.
It was after Fear Effect. And you just said, "Hey, do you want to go through the MCU?" And I'm like, I got nothing else better to do. I think it was before quarantine too. So
it was supposed to be a 2-year plan. We do one a month for 2 years because I was trying to fill the movie part of the show that I wanted to do, and I was having a hard time because I wanted to go to what we do now, which is 8 episodes a month, 2 a week, and it was getting difficult to get them to want to do more. I could tell they were starting to fall off, so I had this idea to do this, and it turned into way more.
Yeah, exactly. No, I just, I like talking about movies. I was a film critic for quite some time, and it'd be a good reason for me to see not only MCU movies I hadn't seen, but kind of go through the series again. And I don't know anything about comic books, so I figure my perspective would be just film based, because I have no connection to comic books. I think I've read 3 in my life. So yeah, it was just fun, and then I'm still enjoying it. You guys kind of like, oh my god, we're gonna do this. To be fair, you guys are recording like 1 or 2 shows a week, and I just show up every 2 weeks. I'm like, hi guys, I'm fresh and ready. Hey, I have thoughts now. To be fair,
you're not playing 13 behind the scenes.
Oh my
not even
god.
playing 13.
Oh
It broke
no.
you.
It's rough.
Yeah,
Well, is that Final Fantasy 13?
no,
just 13.
Oh, the game. Oh, yeah. I saw that
it's
announcement.
a
Yeah,
first-person shooter for the GameCube PS2 era that's based on the comic book that I didn't realize existed until a little while ago.
Yesterday.
That's even
Yes.
all those words in that sentence equal up to rough. Like that can't first-person PS2 derivative work.
Super cool until you find out that it. I mean, I'll be talking about it soon, but
Yeah.
it has some super cool moments, and God, it has some bad moments too. Whew.
As far as my Twitter post, I didn't get any responses to that. So because no one really follows me on Twitter anyway, it was a Hail Mary. So is there anything else you have?
That was actually everything.
Okay.
My wife had one.
Oh,
Sure.
go ahead.
She asked for a game that we would never want to do in the show.
Do you want to word this out, Mike? Are you sure?
Are we just setting ourselves up? Is it going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy? Anything we say is going to end up on the show someday?
Should I say something I really like and kind of
Yeah. Oh man, it would be terrible if we played Metroid Prime on the show.
We should answer that question. Though. What would be your worst game?
She instantly assumed that I would say Alone in the Dark 2008, which is a good choice, but I'm like, Mike keeps telling me that's going to happen anyway, so don't know. Probably in the ultra scary games that I just don't think I can handle, like Outlast, something like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Despite what Helena wants.
I was Adam that was going to play Outlast, though. Well, Adam wanted me to stream Outlast.
Oh, that's even worse. No.
Oh,
No
man.
thanks.
I'm not a big horror game fan. I just don't like being startled. I have a sensitive disposition, so I don't know. But my brother plays all that stuff, everything, Amnesia, Outlast, Scary Face, whatever. He plays all that stuff. But anyway, for me, it's funny you said Metroid Prime. Maybe Metroid Prime 2. I would never want to play that game again. Yuck.
I want to go back to it.
I really
Yuck.
do. I've never played it.
It is. Hey, good luck running around the map finding baubles to make another bauble
I mean,
appear.
when you
To
have
make
a
a
guy,
portal
things
appear.
get a lot easier.
Yeah, well,
Ugh. Well, yeah, it's the only way. It's the only way you can play that game. It's undigestible. Other than that, I don't know. What do you have, Mike?
I think I'm going to go with Fallout 2 because I fucking hated playing Fallout 1 on the show. It's for episode
man.
6. I mean, it's
would-
a long time ago.
I've never played Fallout 2. I started with 3 like most people. I would love to play 2. That's a game I want to play that and Baldur's Gate.
Yes, I don't like it, but it is a really good game. It's just not a game that I want to go back to because I had such a hard time with the first one.
Yeah, never played 2. That's one of those that's on my little bucket list. Yeah, that and Baldur's Gate. I really want to. I hear so many people love that game, so. I don't know. It's funny. I'll play anything. That's kind of like if it's for a show. If it's bad, it's interesting conversation, and if it's good, I had a good time. So I don't have an answer to that question.
That's kind of where I've fallen recently too, because I was trying to think. I'm like, oh, these horror games that I really don't want to do, but like I would still try them. So I've kind of gotten this mindset where I don't need to finish everything for the show. If I get to a point where I feel like I've experienced it well enough to make an argument, then I'm good.
You just have to enjoy it. I mean, or play. I tell people just watch videos too if you can't finish it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit to kind of know what you got going on.
I think okay, I got an answer now. I just came to my mind. Doki Doki Literature Club. I do not want to play that for this show. No, I don't want to sit through 3 hours of bad dating simulator for really cool, mind-bending, game-breaking stuff. It's not worth the effort.
Yep, I'm with you there.
Okay.
All right. Was that if that's it? I actually, because I'm a fan of this show first and foremost. I'm a fan. I'm on the MCU stuff. I get it, but I'm a fan. So I have questions, if I may.
Sure, of course.
Them now. I got questions. All right. I'm going to do the easy one first. Your favorite gaming possession?
Oh.
It's a gaming possession. It's not a licensed product. I have a canvas that I made of the Chrono Trigger campfire scene. That when I got married, I had a bunch of my friends that I hadn't seen over 10 years because they came from my wedding from Milwaukee and they all signed it. And my dad signed it too, I think.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So that's my favorite game possession. The canvas that I designed myself because I went in Photoshop and found the screenshot and made it. So
I have so many toys. Like I can't think of everything. The first thing that comes to mind is I have a replica of Diva's little hand blaster that she uses when she's not in the mech from Overwatch.
You're an Overwatch fan?
Yeah, here and there. Not as much as I used to be.
That's cool. For me, it would be I have a copy of, and I think I'm going to get this right, of Super Mario Brothers Advance 4. And I mentioned this on Twitter once, so you probably know this one. But it was Super Mario Brothers Advance 4, which is just Mario 3.
Yeah.
For your Advance. But Mario 3 for the Advance was compatible with the e-reader.
Uh-huh.
Now, the e-reader, I think that's sold like 5 in the U.S.
I bought one of them.
You bought one. My best friend bought the second one, and he with the e-reader loaded all sorts of challenge levels on it because it was compatible. So he stuck it in, and he just starts swiping cards. I remember one day he's like, "Dude, meet me at McDonald's. I got something for you. Bring your copy of Super Mario 4." And he loaded like 30 or so challenge levels on it, and some of them are legitimately damn near impossible. Like it's not. I keep thinking kaiju. That's a giant monster.
Kaizo,
thank you. Yeah, like almost like Kaizo levels where they're like, you really can't beat this. And I love that thing. It cannot die. So it's a pretty cool little artifact. That's probably my favorite.
I think there's actually a card that lets you have the cape from Mario World in it too.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't. I don't think I have that one. Very cool.
I'm watching it right now. Someone has them all online. Yeah, these are Kaizo levels. It looks like it. Maybe not exactly Kaizo, because Kaizo is more like doing shell jumps and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's the precursor to Mario Maker.
Basically.
That's cool, though.
It's neat, yeah. So number 2 is easy as well. I'm just going to work you up to it. Your favorite episode so far?
Oh, that's easy. That's one of the most recent ones we did. Is the top 10 handheld games.
Nice. That was a fun one.
That was a lot of fun. Like, it's one of the few that I've listened to that I've been on.
I listened to that. I know next to none of those games. I realized I don't play a lot of handheld games, so it was really cool. It's like, ooh, I should try that.
For me, I can't. You said it, my brain just went cold. But one for me would have been probably Robotech Battle Cry, just because I got to talk with Greg from Player One Podcast, and someone I've been listening to for 4 years or 3 to 4 years at this point, and getting to actually talk with him was just it was great. So I'm gonna go with that.
Another one I've got on record is Silent Hill 2. I hated that game, but that conversation we had about it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Helena is a great. Helena and Adam both are amazing guests to have on the show.
Yeah, they're great.
Super fun. All right, number 3. I have only 2 more. Number 3. Someone hands you $2 million out of nowhere. You got $2 million in your pocket. And the first stupid thing you do with it is build an arcade. Because all of us would build an arcade in our house. All right? We just would. That's who we are as people. What are the first 3 games you put in that arcade?
Mine's a trick answer. So
a trick answer.
Well, I would just put an emulator inside it and retropie it. I'm good to go. But
that's cheating. Cheater.
Avengers.
That's no surprise.
The stupid Avengers game, the X-Men game, and Turtles in Time. That's all.
Which X-Men? You mean the 6-player X-Men?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The one based on the Pride the X-Men cartoon that never got a series.
Yeah. Turtles in Time's the obvious answer. Actually, I think I would go for Turtles the arcade game before that. Just because I feel like the Super Nintendo version of Turtles in Time is more accessible.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know my third one is out of left field, so I'm trying to find something to fill the void in between. Simpsons is always a good one.
Yeah.
But I want something that's no. X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Ooh.
Yeah, because you're a big fan of that series, right? For some reason.
The Marvel. If Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was an arcade machine, that would absolutely be the one.
I'm pretty sure it was. I'm 95% positive it was.
Really?
Yeah.
PC2. Hold on, I gotta look this up.
Only we had the ability to Google stuff in front of us.
No, that's not a thing.
We record this on computers. That's great. Do that. While you're looking that up, I'll just do my 3 real quick. So it would be the X-Men game, the 6-player giant X-Men cabinet. Jurassic Park Pinball. I'm not sure if it would be exactly that one, although I think when the T-Rex comes and grabs your ball is really, really fun. It just makes me happy every time. But a really good pinball game. I'd have to look at the catalog. And then
only $9,000 online right now.
That's it? Oh, sweet. Excellent. Good. Well, see, I have $2 million. So, because the question was going to be, what is the first stupid thing you do with your $2 million? Then I realized, build an arcade. That has to be the first stupid thing you do after, paying off your house and giving money to your parents and all that. The first dumb, selfish thing. The third one, I kind of wavered between the Turtles and Simpsons, but I'm going to throw a very large curveball, and y'all going to hate me for this. There's a game called Revolution X.
Oh, no. Your Aerosmith game?
Yes.
It's so bad. But I have a lot of fondness for playing that game as a kid. I played that game so freaking much. On an upcoming episode of A Gamer Looks at 40, I tell the story of Revolution X. Yeah, I think I'd have to. I was thinking like a light gun game. I was also thinking the game with the scope. That one that has
Silent
like
scope.
Silent scope.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a great one. I probably should do that first, but that might be my fourth.
Revolution X is fun on the old arcade. I played it a bunch too, and I didn't know it was an Aerosmith game. I don't think at the time, but I know I played it many times. I actually beat that game on Super Nintendo, the emulator.
I don't know how. It's impossible. I tried it. You get to shoot flaming CDs. Like, come on now, and like steal Steven Tyler's car. You are the revolution.
Oh.
So good.
Okay. I don't understand the obsession with Aerosmith ever. I will never understand it.
I'm not a fan.
Indeed, I agree. I don't get it.
Okay. Apparently, MVC2 was in the arcade, so that's my second choice. Okay. So, Turtles arcade game, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and then the third one is a game called Police 911.
Oh yeah,
which is it's like a on rails shooter, but it's got sensors all around you, so you kind of move to dodge. Yeah. Very cool.
It is cool. Yeah, I think I played it like once or twice. I was always nervous because that was one that you had to plunk like a buck into to play.
Yeah,
and
it's
the bang for my buck was not, the ratio wasn't there. So
I found it.
Super freaking cool.
I have no idea what it is, but I found it online.
It's really cool.
And then one final one. This is the biggie, and this is kind of what somebody else said, but this expands on it. You have the power, the unlimited power, to add one game to a series, just one. But in order to do so, you must kill an entire franchise. You must murder one franchise. So you can add one, but murder a franchise. Now here's the stipulations, though, to make it a little more difficult. It must have 3 entries. So either way, so you can't be like The Last of Us, and DLC doesn't count. So again, you couldn't say The Last of Us because there's only 2 entries, and the third one's a DLC. So that DLC doesn't count and has to have 3 entries. Either one must have 3, and everyone knows you're the murderer. Everybody.
Oh no!
They know
that's
you
the
on
tricky
Facebook.
part.
They know you on Facebook. They know you on Twitter. They have all your social media. You are on the news. Michael K. Hughes kills something such and such.
Because I was gonna toss out as a God of War. I don't care about those games. They can
exactly.
Go. but yeah,
lots of people do. And, like I could easily say, "Oh, Kingdom Hearts. Why would you play an RPG with Mickey Mouse in it? Please throw that thing away."
Any comments you want to make, Mike, about Kingdom Hearts?
No, I'll let my wife fight that battle.
I've never played it. I just think the discourse making fun of it's very funny. It's kind of evil. It's a guilty pleasure. You derive your joy from where you find it. I've never played it. There's a Keyblade that doesn't look cool. So no, thank you.
They get cooler.
Not for me. Anyway, so what do you guys say? I can go first so you can think about it.
I got one already.
Go for it. Yes.
I would make another Castlevania Metrovania series, or game, because I want one of those in the series, and I would kill.
Hang on. So you want a Castlevania game?
Metrovania. A Castlevania Metrovania style.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So.
And I would kill Bioshock because fuck Bioshock. Nobody needs it.
What? Oh my god! I'll be after you.
yeah. Have fun doing this show by yourself, Mike.
Yeah, really.
You know what? I'll be famous. I'll be the guy that killed Bioshock. Everybody will know. Games my mom found it. See, it's part of it. It's a dual.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
But they'll know me.
Ken Levine's going to come into your house and stab you in your sleep.
Yeah, really. my singular vision. Yeah, okay. Now, if you'd say Kill Infinite, then I'd be like all on board. But it's an entire series. Cool. Michael, do you have something yet? Or I can go?
I'm still trying to figure out something that I could get away with killing. So go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to say I want a new Deus Ex. Yeah. I want new Deus Ex, please. And I want I want Arcane Studios to develop it. That's the team that did Prey and Dishonored, because I think they would do beautifully with that kind of, not license, but just the expression and the multiple ways to approach a problem would just be glorious. So I want Arcane Studios to develop a new Deus Ex. As far as franchise, I'm going Battlefield. And here's why. Because it's a redundant franchise. You already have Call of Duty, you have Rainbow Six, you have lots of military shooters. No one really needs it. So even though people will know I did it, I can be able to just play any of these other military shooters. Plenty of ways to spend your time. So I would kill the Battlefield series.
Yeah. I want a new Ape Escape game.
What?
Yeah. Why the fuck not? 3, even Michael attested, 3 was a lot of fun. And
it's amazing, and it shouldn't be.
It's a shame that they just kind of
hang on. Wait.
Serious.
You have the power to spawn a game, and this is a good game, by the way. Like, this is not like a monkey's paw scenario where it's like you'll get the game, but it's going to be Bioshock Infinite, which is bad.
Rude.
No. What?
Good game.
No.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
We'll get there, I'm sure. Ape Escape and you choose Ape Escape. That's great.
Played Ape Escape 3?
No.
I went in. It was episode 108. I went into that game like I don't want to play this bullshit. Why won't he let me get this off the show? And I loved it for PS2. It is a really good game.
All right.
Way better than it should be.
I'll bite. Okay.
I have nothing about the other one though. Just 3.
Cool. What series would you?
I feel like I'm okay alienating that one person that I made happy with the siphon filter comment earlier, and we could just get rid of that because no one's gonna miss it. Let's be honest.
That's fair. Yeah, I think that's in the same vein as what I was kind of thinking. Yeah, cool. That's what I got, guys.
It's good stuff.
Right. That was good. Yeah, that's I think all we got. We read a decent amount of questions though. Yeah,
we aired a lot of grievances. We got a lot out. You know, it was good. A little therapeutic. It's great.
It was fun. I mean, when I've done these before, they never do super good. It's just something to kind of like reference the fact that we hit such a huge milestone of 50,000. Hey, Podbean even gave me a little badge to put on my website, which I don't have.
Nice. There you go.
Like,
the true fans will listen to it, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And you know what? You enjoy doing it. And that's what I love about this show is that you guys don't just swing for the fences on the big hitters. I mean, you play some of the big games, but you play random nonsense I've never freaking heard of.
What are you talking about? We did Dirt to Cerberus. We did Binary Domain. We did
I've never heard of Binary Domain. Into all these games, a lot of these games I've really never heard of, and it's just cool that you're playing games you enjoy or think are interesting enough to talk about on a show and not really worrying about like SEO and making sure you're hitting all the big. You'll hit some of the big ones, of course, but man, it's cool, and you guys are clearly having fun when you do it, which is all that matters.
Oh, we could get a new Mega Man X game to go back.
Yeah, I could do a good Mega Man X. Yeah. I just don't continue the legacy that the track they've been on.
Mega Man X4 too.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to X4. I'm not playing it yet because I know I'll be on it for the show. So
yep,
it's gonna be. We gotta do number 3. I can't tell you when that's gonna happen, but yeah, at some point.
That's fair. Now, listen, I'm not going anywhere. Hopefully. If I have died by the time you do X4, just do it in memoriam to Bill. Just gonna play it out. Play one game.
It's been fun doing this. Like that's why I want to have you on for this one because it's been it's become us 3. At this point you're the third chair.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. And again, it's the MCU stuff's been fun. I'm gonna miss doing it every 2 weeks. Honestly, again, I don't have to play games every week and panic, but and edit it. Oh, sorry.
There will be other stuff. I'm like,
I'm sure.
By the time we finish the MCU, there's other things I want to tackle. I have ideas like Resident Evil, and then I have other things that I plan. So you'll be on. I
was gonna say, are there things you want to tease now on this very special edition?
We've talked about doing the Resident Evil movies and the X-Men franchise, so
either one of those
could happen. Do what?
Star Wars films.
Oh, jeez.
I know you won't be involved in that project, but I do want to do them. I really Resident Evil. I think is what's going to happen. We've been talking about doing it in October because we'll have just finished up the MCU like a month before. We take a little break and then we start and we do only 6 RE films. So it wouldn't take long.
No. I think a nice small franchise would be good. Star Wars is hard because what else am I going to say that 1,000 other people haven't said already? Like entire podcast dedicated to it. But that should never let you stop. That should never stop you, right?
And in silly news, Thor: Dark World's at 7,695 views.
Jeez. On YouTube?
Yes, with 21 likes and 14 dislikes.
Well, hey, you got 21 likes. Maybe 19 of those are like, you trolled us really good. Thank you. Like, boom, excellent.
Pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, which is fine.
But people have actually listened to that episode, so
good. Well, that's good. Maybe popped it on and said, "Hey, these guys sound entertaining." I don't know, working or taking an extremely long shit. Perhaps
okay, not many.
Pop this.
Okay, nobody's made it all the way through that episode, but there's been a lot of clicks, and they usually make it about. Let's see, 11% made it to 1 minute and 2 seconds. So they thought, wait a second, this isn't the movie.
Hey,
hey, you kids.
I mean, it says podcast in all the MCU stuff has podcast in the titles. Like, I'm not gonna get away with this, guys. Like,
I know
it's hilarious.
What expectation do you have? And not for nothing, it does though. If I remember correctly, unless you changed it, it says podcast at the very, very end of the title. Yes, of course it does. So when you look at it in the listing, it just says Thor: Dark World, and it's 2 hours long. And so it's like, oh my God, will you click on this before YouTube takes it down? Because I'm sure the robots are coming any minute.
And with so many views and so many likes, people really think it's the movie.
So funny. I
It
love it.
amuses me. Same. There's been a couple that people have also listened to a bunch. Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron has 20 dislikes though,
Nah, well, that's
with
what happens.
2,508 views so far at the time of this recording, and I think that's also hilarious.
And I just love that Thor Dark World is like everyone's hankering for Thor Dark World.
But like Ant-Man has only 16 views, like a really good movie. I don't get it. Hulk has 1,000 some views, but it's like I don't understand why Thor Dark World everybody's clicking on.
Well, not to get too into it, but remember that metrics cannot be a measure of quality because you have no control over who looks at what or who likes what you like. So what the metric for quality should be is when you listen back and say, "Ooh, that was good," or "Ooh, that was Mass Effect."
YouTube is just YouTube, just because it was something that I should have done just to have it there for the people who actually, because some people actually do listen to things on YouTube.
I do. I listen to stuff on YouTube.
I watch videos all the time, but like some people listen to podcasts on YouTube too.
Oh, I do. I'm not going to subscribe to Joe Rogan's dumb podcast, but when he's interviewing Billy Corgan, I'll listen to that. And it's right there. He's got 3,000 episodes. So I just look up Joe Rogan, Billy Corgan. Boom. There's the interview. Stick that in my back pocket while I'm, doing whatever I'm doing. And yeah, I do it often. So
that's why I finally put it on YouTube. It was just kind of like, it was something that I was supposed to do early on, but never got around to. And then figured at one point, I'm like, I need to just do this finally. So
technically, we're past 50,000 if you count all the YouTube views too.
I don't count those at all. So that's just a whole different thing.
Indeed.
So yeah, I mean, it's just something that I wanted to kind of just celebrate. And I mean, the cover art for this episode is just going to be the Vegeta meme. It's over 50,000.
Yeah. As long as Twitter doesn't crop it and make it look like this show is over.
I thought you were quitting because it said it's over. Game by Pop it's over. And like no, we're just.
I know that was really funny. I'll never guess how Twitter does their chopping up.
Yeah,
we're not. I mean, even when the show kind of like had its crash when I lost, the two guys left me at the same time, and I mean, I was like, what the? I mean, I wasn't gonna quit. I had a backup plan for a backup plan. I love doing this too much.
That's it, man. And that's why it works.
Plus, I know it takes 3 to 5 years to really like get where I want to go.
Oh yeah, no, it takes forever. So but again, 50,000 is a big accomplishment. Again, like I said, I thought it was 5. I really did. I was like, oh, cool, man, 5,000. You said 50. I'm like 50. Oh man,
wish awesome. Now you have my attention. I know episode 16 was when we hit. So 16 weeks in, we hit our first 1,000. 5,000 was we did the 5K celebration extravaganza is what I called it. I can't remember. It was a long time ago, though, when we hit 5,000. I'm going to look it up right now while we're talking, just so I can put it out there. It's an episode that nobody listened to, and that's why we never did one for 10. Or like I wanted to do one originally for 25, but 28 is when Mike joined, so 25 would have been when things were starting to kind of fall apart with the guys, and we were not really there. I could tell. We hit 5,000 at episode 39 to 40, right around that area.
So we've almost doubled downloads since I joined the show.
I mean,
that's all you, brother. You're the one, man. You're the secret sauce.
People still listen to old episodes, not as much as the really early stuff, because I also found out that when it comes to like Spotify and Stitcher, it will cut you off at 100. So anything, it always shows the most recent 100.
Mine does that too. My podcatcher of choice, Pocket Cast, does that too, which means if I want to listen to something older, I got to go to freaking Podbean and all that. It is rather annoying that they.
But you can also use Podcast Addict, which will show you their entire catalog.
Okay. Yeah.
It downloads them. It doesn't stream them.
Yeah. It's kind of annoying. My Pocket Casts, which I like very much. But yeah, no, man, this is cool. This is a good testament to kind of the work you've been putting into it. And yeah, man, I think people are really enjoying the show. 50,000 is a lot of people. Think about it. What town in this state has or in like your home state has 50,000 people on it? Probably something that shows up on a map. So, hey, listen, an entire population of someplace, Michigan, is the equivalent of that is listening to your show. So,
I mean, things have quieted down, but then you just have random days where it's just you never really know with this. Like, I never know what's going to stick or what people are going to like. And
I wrote it. Yeah, I learned that in doing the blogging stuff for the awesome blog I write for. And you never know what's going to hit. You just don't. You figure, I'm going to do a top 10 places to get gelato, and nobody reads it. I do an article on like a tabletop gaming bar. It's actually really freaking cool. There's a bar that's dedicated to tabletop gaming, and they have like awesome tables for it. It's all custom made tables, and games are there, and it's really, really neat. And I do an article on that, and it gets like 3,000 ribbon likes. Ribbon likes being the ribbon on the the Facebook, Twitter. It'll say how many shares. and I got like 3,000 shares, and it shows up on Reddit, and I go, oh no, it's on Reddit. People are gonna be mean to me.
Oh, no, it's on Reddit.
Oh God, no. And I check Reddit, and people were mostly nice. One person made fun of me, but I can live with that.
I mean, that's normal. I mean, we only had one negative YouTube comment because the Age of Ultron, he did a bunch of angry faces because it's not the movie. But again, does anyone not understand that YouTube is an algorithm that if you push something copyright material up there, I'm like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah, do you realize that YouTube has to scan this thing before it goes up?
It's quick, but they examine the entire thing. Like they know what you're doing.
And that's stupid.
So I don't get. I mean, yeah, movies go up on YouTube all the time, but it's when they legitimately are okay. Like, yes, they don't. The movie people don't care anymore. If I went and pirated a movie and went to upload on YouTube, they would just shut down my YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure. First they would.
That'd be it for that.
So I don't get. People are just stupid like that. Like it's. Plus, I don't understand why Thor: Dark World people are looking for. I don't get it.
Yeah, I've said before, we're doing you a favor by not uploading the movie.
Yeah, seriously, exactly.
Our conversations are close to it. I mean, you will absorb the entire movie by listening to our episode. Yeah. Any MCU one, you'll get the whole movie. You won't see it, but you'll get it. That's all I got. Again, I want to thank you guys for doing this with me tonight or today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
This weekend probably because I want to release it soon. So we'll get that. Right now, I want to thank everyone for listening. I want to thank everyone for whoever went out there who listened to the episode, who downloaded the episode. I just want you to know every download you do makes me feel happy inside. Every time that number ticks up, every single damn time. All right, and I want to thank everyone for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, we have tons of other game episodes, comics, movies, and even a top 10 episode because, Watch Mojo worked, so we're trying it now too. So definitely check all those out. And if you enjoyed this, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I always take more subscribers on YouTube. And also, give a shout out to our awesome intro and outro, courtesy of Bobby, a.k.a. Mike Stoney from ZP Bite the Bullet, song The Cool Kid Squad. Definitely check him out. You see a link in the show notes to his YouTube channel. And Bill, do you want to give a shout out to your podcast? Wait, or do you not want to say that yet? No,
I would. So here's what's going to happen, just so you know. So it's not going to happen this month because I've realized that South by Southwest is still happening here in Austin, even though it's virtual. It's all online. I'm like, ooh, I got to write 2 articles for that by next week. So that's what my week of creative content is going to be. So the show is probably going to launch in like late April. I just want to do more interviews before I pull it out. And it's so I'm thinking like late April. If you come late April, you go on and you see stuff, like I said on Twitter, it's going to be a gamer looks at 40 on Twitter. If you see stuff, yay. If you see an apology tweet that's pinned, then you know what's going on. But either way, mosey on over to A Gamer Looks at 40 on Twitter, and something will be there, either celebratory or very, very sad.
Okay. Hopefully celebratory. Hopefully you're able to get it. I mean, podcasts are hard sometimes to start.
It's just the scope of it constantly changes. That's the problem. I can't just leave it alone. I just can't record an interview, put it up, and edit it a little bit. No, I got to layer in music. I got to find artwork. I got to find intro and outro music like you did. I got to take the trailer of the movie, and I got to record it, and then I got to cut it up and put it into places. I can't not make a big deal out of it. So hopefully it's neat, though. So
Okay. I mean, hey, it's for music. I got lucky. One of my original co-hosts, he found this and got permission for us to use it, and here we go.
Easy.
I wouldn't. I don't know what I would have done if he wouldn't have found it. I didn't think much about it.
Yeah. Yep. You always need something.
All right. I want to thank everyone for listening, and we will see you guys all next time. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.